Another typical morning for us in the month of August, with us in the mid to upper 60s and a few spots, especially in the center, holding in the 70s. The benefit, or at least the improvement from yesterday, is we have over half of us are down into the upper 60s, meaning over half of us have a dew point that's at least below that. So the progress for today in terms of cooling down isn't a drastic one. Mid to upper 80s for yesterday. We did have Sheraton and Centerville and Ottumwa and Oskaloosa all hit a very warm setting in the low 90s. But for today, everybody back down into the 80s. We even have 84 for a few spots. So it's a slow step down, but this is the more seasonal setup that we do have. Now, going into tomorrow is where we see probably the best improvement, but it is short-lived. Now, the center, of course, central Iowa, is still holding dew points in the low 70s. It still feels very humid outside. The clear sky and the calm wind, of course, leading to fog again to this morning, most likely again tomorrow morning. But the good news is that our overall pattern, at least the long-term one, is a fairly quiet one. We're not looking at a lot of rain activity coming our way, but we do have at least a few shots at rainfall coming our way. Calm wind, 3 to 6 miles per hour. Otherwise, still out of the north, still giving us that attempted cooling feeling. It's at least keeping the heat index in the afternoons a little more subdued. Yesterday, we only saw a few spots break 100, but their actual temperature got to the mid-90s, so it really isn't too far out of the question. But days 6 through 10, the last bit of August, basically guaranteeing we're going to stay below average. This does not mean extreme cold, but it is a borderline guarantee that we are going to stay below the seasonal average, staying in the mid to upper 70s, maybe having just a few moments where we break 80. But looking back across the Midwest, there really isn't much happening for us. The nearest activity is south of us with the latest boundary that has passed through, and all it's putting up is some clouds over Missouri. So we get in closer, and everything is still completely clear. Now, these flood warnings off to the northeast, those are going to stick around for a while. We still have a lot of areas in flood stage, and of course, they just saw more rainfall, so that just takes progress. But through the day today, a few clouds moving around. Temperatures kind of getting into the mid to upper 80s and then down to the mid 60s for Thursday morning. A few more spots of fog for Thursday morning. Then we start watching for this next cold front to arrive. That does leave us with at least a good cool down, but we've got to get through some rainfall first. So 86 for today. Of course, it's a bit cooler. Another foggy start to the day. Then this weekend, that's where we really feel the drop off. We are down to the upper 50s for Sunday morning. And then by Tuesday,